Hello, Divine Sunshiners. This is Divine Sunshine. Just coming to you today. Like I said, I didn't get up early enough, but I am going to try to be here constantly every day to give something to the collective to think about. Yesterday I did, and it seems like my series of blocks, triggers, uh, yeah, blocks and triggers, and things that we got to remove. I seen a lot of us having looking, and it was interested in the karmic, about saying yes, I was once a karmic, once upon a time. Today, what I'm going to do, I was led to say, let's take a look and see karmically what can it, or what do we need to work on in order to clear a path for union. So what I'm going to do today is just take a look using the cards and just ask the angels and my guides to kind of guide us as to seeing what is the things. I forgot the karmic card. Excuse me. 1 second. I seen them. Because I told you yesterday, in some ways, what we're doing is we're mirroring. This is a connection between ourselves and these karmics. In some kind of way, it's something that we need to work on as well. So if we work on these things, my belief is that this karmic energy, like I told you about the movie Beloved with um, Oprah Winfrey, and how she had some things in the past that she had to deal with, and her and Danny Glover did as well. And once they start healing the house and stop saying you don't have control over this house, the entity, well, I forgot what her name is. I could see her now with a little light skinned self, skinny self. She's a beautiful actress, some with a T. With her, as she came in, and once they healed it, she went off into the swamp area or whatever it is, to marsh, and she disappeared with all that stuff. So this is what we're going to work on today. I'm glad to see some of my subscribers that they were saying, you know what, I have already had gotten to this idea a long time ago, knowing that about the karmic, what their role is. Right now, it's not about the karmic. We got to stop kind of feeding them energy. I had to pretty much a wake up call, I guess, with these moon energies about the karmic myself, and me kind of really being just like really kind of shaken up just by the whole situation with my divine masculine this weekend. And I thought I had kind of had a good handle on stuff, and then it came to kind of show me, say, no, you don't. And so I'm going to, while we're going through this journey together, and I like how one of my subscribers said, Sarah King, they was saying, I'm so glad to have channels like yours and the others that I watch, because it doesn't make me feel like I'm so alone on this journey. And that is true, because this is an experiential channel. With mine, I don't confess to say I know the answers to everything. At the same time, I put out there very much, I'm very vulnerable and letting you know about my walk, about some things that I'm going through. And I kind of feel like if you're on this channel, we kind of resonate, we're kind of going on the same path. Of if not, you can support me as I can support you on your path to say, okay, well, it's not quite what you're going through, but this is what I'm going through. But we do have some common threads and some commonalities that run between both of about what's going on my journey and on yours. It's just great to have these experiences in these channels so we can be able to kind of express and then get some clarity. Because like I say, clarity is power, quoting Jupiter 11:11. And that is true. Once you kind of know what direction you're going to, it can help. Some divine masculines, they going through this kind of a massive kind of really change. I can see even with my divine masculine, some of the things I've been talking to him, he's actually now getting. I have to kind of anchor myself, because it's like, oh my God, I keep on pushing about you doing this mission and purpose, and oh my God, you're actually starting to get on it. And I was like, okay, now where does that leave me in the scope of things? And so I got to kind of anchor myself down into knowing that okay, communications, I have to anchor myself down to say, okay, this is what you asked for. If this is what's happening, you know that this is helping you in the long run as well. So, it's some things that, you kind of like, some of them are opening up There's some shifts in energies that's going on. Some of these divine masculines are taking it in. Some of them are still on the same road. Some of them I might be shaking up. I think maybe the divine masculine, I kind of flip-flopped roles and seen him becoming the divine feminine. I was coming to divine masculine. I was like, oh my God, I don't know where this is going to lead. And so I start kind of being a little kind of shaky and like, okay, I kind of almost feel like I want to run again. And I was like, no, we can't have runnerish tendencies. Let's anchor down and stay right there. I keep it 100. Like I said, we have our, things. This is how this journey is. You're there, in it to win it. But then it does sometimes when it changes and shows those changes. Like I said Saturday about leadership, at any time be prepared for change. It doesn't matter how it goes. You expect change to happen. And so that same thing, the universe is like, oh, okay, you preaching that now let me see if you really are pretty much a converted to what you're saying. So that's just my little thing. So I want to look into the energies and let my angels and my guides kind of help me at this point to see what kind of karmic energies, clear, do we need to work on. And then we're going to take it step by and see how we can kind of work on those. Those is a lot. Kind of give me 3. I wasn't specific. 1, 2, and 3. Okie dokie. Okay, I can put it with a twist. I see where it is. I thought it's going to be, but it's not really that negative. It's something that we can kind of work with. So the 3 things that we got to work on karmically is this understanding, and I believe it's saying the belief in and loyalty to understanding that love conquers all. It does not matter how things are going at this point. We've got to kind of understand the lessons, these karmic situations that's going on, and still through it all, love conquers all. Maybe some of us growing up have not had that. I think about even with my mom and stuff. I talked to her and said, she was saying one day I told her, I said, you know what, some kind of way you might have kind of not believed in love anymore. I can hit you. If you believe in love after love, do you believe in love after love? So, some kind of way some of us have through the ages, either family or either the way society look at how love is supposed to be. Love is conquering. Some of us have had that feeling of that lone wolf. No, that's all right. I'm cool. I don't need no love. You don't need to give that to me. You can kind of keep that love over there to you, or either something that the divine masculine or divine feminine has done to you, and you're like, okay, that's all right. Keep that love, because that type of love, I don't know, it comes with a price. It's a little too high. It's a little too expensive. You can go ahead and you don't keep it. Like you person looking at it and say, oh, how much is this love? Oh, that love, no, that love too expensive. You got like a bootleg version of that love that's a little bit more easy, because it's a little bit too much stuff I got to do on this journey. So can you give me a $9.99? This thing say $99.99. I'd like to see a $9.99 version of this love here. Next thing we have to do karmically, we got to work with is jealousy. Okay, maybe we having jealousy of what's happening with the karmic, their situation as well. Maybe we have grown up that it's got to be all eyes on you. Of things is this it's all about me. We're not on the same level. Jealousy. It says envy, punishment, and changing courses. It's the same thing, just like what I was saying about seeing with my divine masculine. It's like, okay, some of us might be, I keep it 100. It's like, okay, now, it's all right, cool when you was awakened and I was the awakened one. Some kind of way I felt kind of privileged. Now you becoming awakened, and I'm awakened, and I'm looking at it saying, okay, now is you going to elevate, because I know also they had said with the divine masculines that once they do get it, and I remember that from Elizabeth Lund's channel from House of Idems, that she's like, it's been, and she's the only, about the second channel that I've seen that. See, once the divine masculines get it, they're going to skyrocket, and they're going to take off. And the divine feminine is going to have to try to find their way to keep up with that momentum that they have. So maybe you might be kind of like, some of them might say, if you're in communications with your divine masculine, it's like, yeah, once he gets to that awakened state and he really takes off, maybe I might be jealous because, like, okay, now, you know, first I was on top, now I'm down here, now he's rising above. And so, you know, it's like, am I going to ever be able to catch up with him? You know, that way. Jealousy, or like I say, jealousy of like the karmic being in a situation looking like they happy. You looking on Facebook, they out and about, and you look at them and say, oh my God, they living my life. They living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you, karmic. So you living here, they're like, what is going on? We going back and forth. And, you know, that's really my life that they live in. So that's one way you could look at it as well. And then they say ecstasy, yielding rapture and bliss. Okay, so this is another way in which this could be also a problem karmically, is that maybe some of you all are afraid, some of us collectively might be afraid of being in that bliss, because you say, oh, if I'm in that bliss, it's the ability for me to be knocked down real quick. And so some of us might be scared that, like, you know, some like it used to be a saying and a belief. I used to have that. I kind of stopped that. When they say, oh, once something good happens, like something right after that, always something bad comes behind it. You know, that's a way of doing it. So some of us might be kind of scared, because it's like, oh, if I'm get too happy about this situation, about me and the divine feminine coming together, or me and the divine masculine, it's going to get cut down, you know. And so that's an issue there as well. Let me get some clarifies this to make sure I'm on the right path. Clear. So clarify this, love and conquers. How could that be for karmically? Ecstasy. And yeah. Okay, so it says love conquers all. Again, like everything on the outside, everything is like glitter is not gold. You know, it's like, ooh, this thing about love looks good on the outside, but it might not be all that it seems to be. You know, like, does love really truly conquer all? I don't know. You know, say in order for it to happen, people have got to get their mask taken off, and so you're going to have to really strip yourself down, especially with this, and get down to the bare truth about how do you actually view love. Okay, and then also once you get to that understanding that, you know, really love conquers all, the issue with that is that also that, you know, you will be able to breathe easy about that, because some of us, when you think about love, it's like, oh my God, clutch the pearls, I can't breathe, I go into panic attacks when I'm thinking I'm actually falling in love or really surrendering myself to that, and it's like a scary thing. I'm like holding my breath, like, okay, yeah, this, okay, yeah, I'm in a relationship, oh God, I can't breathe. Oh Jesus, I think I'm about to pass out. Oh God, I don't know about this being in this relationship. You know, it scares me. So, you know, really getting to the point that you'll be able to breathe in it. And then when we talk about karmically about this, just really releasing your analytical self, the divine masculine self, which is your side of being able to reason. Just release that. Stop thinking about that. Like, last time I was in love, it didn't go right. Last time I was in love, I was left at the bar, at the club, like Shaniqua. You know, those kind of things. Those things karmically you kind of think about. Also, when we're talking about jealousy, it's like coming to the edge. You know, well, what about if I just let go and just be happy and just truly practice unconditional love to everybody? You know, this, like, that's going to really free me up. It's going to bring me to the edge of myself. I'm usually very guarded, very in control of everything, and that, you know, envy, you know, is like, or some kind of way when somebody has something better than me, then that makes me start kind of thinking about myself and judging myself in the process. So, you know, it's like, am I good enough? That go back to childhood issues. You know, mom already said I wasn't good enough. You know, mom used to say that I wasn't her favorite out of the 10 of us, and, you know, that makes me go back to that again. So me always feeling like I got to do things to make sure that I'm the best. You know, I had spotlight on me, and if it's not, then I become jealous of those things, people that seem like they're doing better. So that's kind of bringing you towards the edge emotionally as well. But at the same time, if you get rid of that, then you'll be able to spread love better, open up your heart chakra. And then you have with this, the ecstasy card, which is rapture, which is beforehand, you're having a problem with your emotions, being able to receive. Because when I see this boldness, I always talk about receiving. So receiving emotionally the bliss. Like you say, you're always saying it's something you always had like a bad connotation that goes into rapture. They say ecstasy means rapture, meaning really getting all caught up in something. Love, I'm caught up in a rapture of love. Nothing else can compare. When I'm gonna capture a love. So when you're in the rapture of love, I put my own little versions on that. It just makes you feel like you're just out of body. It's just like I don't have no control. And that's kind of scary for some people. So karmically, if we're thinking about some pollutions of ideas and thoughts and beliefs that we have attracted to ourselves, we've got to kind of get rid of that. They really say, you know what, just go on ahead, the falling in love. That's why they call it falling in love, because you don't know where you're going to land. You don't know where you're going to end up in. You don't know if somebody's going to be there to catch you when you fall. You pray that your divine equivalent or your divine counterpart will be there when this happens. I'll be there. So you pray that he will be saying, I'll be there. But that's not always, you can't bet on that, all the time. You just go ahead and always look and say, I got to look for the end point. I got to make sure that it's going to end that way. You just don't. You don't look for the how. You don't look for the why. You just do. Okay. When you're talking about love, because you'll find out that it'll happen totally different than the way it is. So just get up into the rapture of love. Just be up with the bliss of love, and just kind of go with the flow of those things. Okay. All right. That is that. What is it that we need to work on? Clear. This darkness that we're hiding, especially when we're talking about, this came right on out. When we're talking about these three things, so we got the love conquers all, the jealousy, and the ecstasy. Now, when I look at this and this came out, it came out parasites. You know what it means to me? If we don't get off or get rid of this, this is like a parasite feeding off of our union, which is not allowing union to actually grow. Like when they have those things like ticks and all that stuff that it goes into, like with your dogs and that thing, that's like a parasite, or the parasite enters your body and it goes on and it feasts off of you, and it creates its own little kind of buffet of things that's off of you, and it's just sucking your energy, it's sucking you dry, and it's just sucking you from the opportunity of really having this true love experience with your divine masculine. So this is parasite. So I'm gonna read here and see if maybe if I could get inspired by something here to continue on. But this is what I believe is like really these things are a parasite, and they're sucking off of us, and not enabling us to be able to do what we have to do. So when the only answer to lack of self-efficiency is to cling to another one. Oh, this is interesting. So a long-haired man with a pale-faced hairy. What's this? Okay, all right. With a long-haired man with a pale face, heavy eyelids, a dull golden chain drapes over his forehead. Around his body and through his body, a poisonous ivy grows and clings subtly to him. We can't survive alone. We'll seek company, but instead of growing together, they will wither together. Okay, right. So to me, it seems like, again, even if this union does come together, if we don't get these things out here, it seems like these are the things that we need to be struggling right now. These are called blocks and triggers. They're blocking us. This understanding that really a new way of looking at how love does conquer all, a new way of looking at jealousy, a new way of dealing with jealousy, and a new way of dealing with also having bliss. these things are going to make the relationship die. So you can have union tomorrow. If we're not ready and prepared to deal with how we deal with these three things collectively, we're going to be in a whole lot of trouble as far as when we get into union. So relationships are not a zero-sum game, of course. Using each other is part of the game, but it's quite different when you use to take the shape of supporting rather than manipulating or exploiting. In the long run, a good relationship is a win-win, where the more I give, the more I get, and the other way around. Still, it's not always like this, isn't it? Not just in bad relationships. In the short run, bad is bound to happen even in the house of true love. We cling, we bite, we hunger for safety and freedom and support. And on the other side, we get mangled, bitten, demanded on. Well, it happens. It happened and it will happen again. It is part of the game. But if it happens too often, it creates a toxic environment. It doesn't matter if we are the victims or the perpetrator, or as poison is shared equally. Once one gets the pain, another one gets the advantage. But the toxic part is they both get. Fully, a parasite, a leech, kills itself as much as it kills the host. It sacrifices the journey to the destination, and then the destination to its own failure. The problem is not living as sheeps, but a true problem is living as sheep for 100 years. So in order to me, when I look at this, even if you get into the situation of union, if you don't handle these issues right here, as far as these karmic energies, these lessons that keep on playing over and over again, even when you get with the divine masculine or the divine feminine, there's going to be some major issues, because it's like you trying to hide it like a sheep living as a sheep. Someone is not living as a sheep, is living with sheeps. After a while, it's kind of going to wear down on you. And then again, like I said, it's not only killing you, but then you're going to find yourself even killing your divine counterpart or your divine equivalent. So you've got to handle this situation karmically, okay? That's what it's saying. What do you need to surrender? Surrender cards. This is surrender cards, yeah. What do we need to surrender? Clear. So in order to do this, we got to surrender obsessive thinking, which is true, about how love conquers all, about this jealousy thoughts, about this I'm scared to be in bliss or rapture when I'm out of control of myself because I'm just wrapped up in I'm caught up in the rapture of love. Well, you scared with doing that. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to the spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. That's about that spirit, the parasite, because that mind, you keep on thinking about those thoughts, they can also become a parasite, and then before you know it, they kill your mind and they kill also the person as well. The actual parasite and the host. Surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflict and improve your relationships. Okay, if you know they coming in with a belief that love can conquer all and you're not, then, and you're like, no, I done been through it. I done been there and I done that. I already know how this going to turn out. Nah, because I know how you act in the past. This is how you going to do. I already know. You've got to kind of, there you are, you call yourself trying to be right in the situation. You've got to get to the point that you're just saying, you know what, I surrender to being right to this. You know, I do like my mom always say. She always say, when she think it's one way and you say it's another way, she always say, well, you know what, I would love for you to prove me wrong. And if you do prove me wrong, then I'll be the first one to apologize and say I was wrong about it. That same thing. If you can prove you right now through your actions, your words, you showing me you in it to win it, divine feminine or divine masculine, then guess what? I'm going to be a true believer that love conquers all. There's no use of me being jealous about any kind of so-called competition. Like I said, with the karmic, if there's a person, place, a thing, if it's an actual person, there is no competition. You know, no matter what, you're always first in your divine feminine or in your divine masculine's heart. And there's no need of you to be saying, oh, I done been here before. Every time I just get lost up in and wrapped up in love, it always turns another way. Let it go, and then let the universe prove you a different way that yes, love does happen. We've got your back. Okay, that's that one. Then let's look at the divine. Clear. Let's look at the divine energies. How you're going to be able to deal with this to get into your divinity. Just take you some time out, although you're doing all this hard work, to be able to conquer these 3 things, karmic situations that you need to, or energies that we got to conquer and deal with. One way is, I'll say this maybe for the week, maybe I'll try to see about this, but this is currently what's going on. If we can deal with that this week, I'll put this as blocks and triggers. I'll try to add this on and implement this into my rotation too. If we can work with this, then we'll be able to kind of like rest and just kind of like, you know, take in, and then make sure that you, to me, push yourself on this issue about this karmic situation, and then stop, and then find you some ways, to me, when I look at this, how to reward yourself for it. So if it's a cup of coffee, or ask your inner child or yourself, what things would you like in order to show, you know, like we did really good, you know, let's go and look at a Netflix movie or something like that, or go and meditate for a little while. That seems good. Or go sit by the, like if you're here in the city of Chicago, go by the beach and just sit there a while and watch the waves. What kind of way can you reward yourself for doing the work? Because to me, when I look at this looks like she's taking a break from work. So from all this work that you're doing here, how can you kind of just give your mind a break from the situation? So think about how you can do that and work on your selfhood, which is really making yourself, after you do that too, but also how you can make yourself strong. And I see the number 8, and how you can become in harmony with yourself. So be in harmony with yourself, honor yourself, take breaks when you need it, and then go out and reward yourself. That's the activity that I would say for you to do. Let's ask your higher self, what do you need? Clear. Your higher self, what do you need in this karmic situations with these energies? Let's see, 2. Where's the ebook? I need the ebook. So we have head games. Then this card talked about games. This card talked about games in love. So, and we talk about thinking too much, obsessive thinking. So head games and magnanimous, me, magnanimous. Yeah, I say magnanimous, me. Okay, let's look at number 36. Head games. The trouble with smart people, and yes, that means you, is that they occasionally have a tad bit of difficulty surrendering to the big guy. They want to analyze everything, figure everything out, go from A, B, C, D, ad nauseum. So here's all you need to know about this. Sometimes it's better to let go. Okay? That's why I'm hosting the trust issues on Saturday. So make sure you watch and you see that, about how you got to deal with trust issues, how that deals with relationship, and how that reflects back into your divine unisoul union, okay, as well. And magnanimous, magnanimous me. Gotcha. I had to look at it, see. Magnanimous me. Okay. Okay. Magnanimous me. I said it right. Magnanimous me. Okay. This is the time for your true nature to bloom like a crocus in the spring. You are nothing but a big ball of love, and the only thing you really want is to love up on everyone. This is a good time to get in touch with that higher truth and free your generous spirit. Kindness, anyone? So no matter what, you got to go back to remember it's all about love. What is it I told you on this channel? Be love. Be kind. Like I said in the going back to my workshop, I said about leadership, about what would Jesus do? They said they did not want for you to be acting like you kind or acting like you love. You have to be love in order to attract that stuff. So again, be love, everything else will follow. If you're loving, guess what? You believe love can conquer all. If you're loving, then you're no way for you to be jealous about anything else that's going on with the karmic, what's going on with him, because you ain't worried about that because you up here practicing your selfhood. And if you're loving, you know that ecstasy and caught up in the rapture of love, that goes where nothing else can compare. Okay. That part there, nothing else can compare, because if you're in that love thing, the rapture and the bliss is just part of who you are, who you be. I need to put that on that show. I keep on forgetting. I'm saying be. I be. Okay, that's it. I might do my next things. I'm gonna put it on there. Put I be. Okay, just be. That is the next thing that you got to know. If you're being love and you be love, that is it. Okay. All right, that is it on this one. I did for the karmic, what things we got to work on karmic for our blocks and triggers. Well, next week we'll look and see about what we have to do, deal with karmically. If you like this style and you would like me to do a karmic read for you to see what are some karmic things that you need to get rid of in order to help get rid of the karmic energy that's happening with your divine counterpart or with your divine equivalent. Because if we're equal, then we're all experience the same thing some kind of way. And so get with my union special. When I do that, then you tell me I want that karmic read like you did on there for me. Because this is general. This is everybody. These are some general common threads. I have to do one exactly for you so I can see exactly what you have to work on. $15 for 30 minutes. I can look into this for you and see. And this was exactly 30 minutes. So that's exactly how I would do the read. It would start off again with what's the 3 key areas that you have to work on, especially when you're trying to get rid of the karmic situation that's happening between you and your divine. Then we go into looking clarifying it, look at what things, the dark shadows that you're trying to hide, what things you got to surrender, what is you got to work as far as your divinity, your divine power, and then also look at what your higher self is trying to say to you. So if you like that, hit me up, go to my webpage, and down below I also have that in the subscription. Also, sometimes I don't know, do it so quickly because if I'm downloading, you won't be able to see it, and sometimes it takes a while. I have to do this overnight, and then I'll come back later. So if I haven't, go through some of my old videos, and you'll see where you can be able to reach me and get a reading with me. All right then, so that is it. I'm trying to see if there's any other housekeeping things. Just remember Saturday, look at 10 a.m. I will have 10 a.m. I will be doing a live reading about trust issues in relationships here. That would be free. If you feel self-imposed that afterwards that you want to send me a little love donation or whatever, that's beautiful, because that helps to kind of keep that helps to keep things flowing, the love energy as well, and that lets the universe know that you're serious also as well about getting into union with your twin. So, all right, until next time, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascending. Namaste, Namago.